The Grave Robber by Darynda Jones, performed by Lorelei King.
1001 Dark Nights. Once upon a time, in the future. I was a student, fascinated with stories and learning. I studied philosophy, poetry, history, the occult, and the art and science of love and magic. I had a vast library at my father's home and collected thousands of volumes of fantastic tales. I learned all about ancient races and bygone times, about myths and legends, and dreams of all people through the millennium. And the more I read, the stronger my imagination grew, until I discovered that I was able to travel into the stories, to actually become part of them. I wish I could say that I listened to my teacher and respected my gift, as I ought to have. If I had, I would not be telling you this tale now. But I was foolhardy and confused, showing off with bravery. One afternoon, curious about the myth of the Arabian Nights, I travelled back to ancient Persia to see for myself if it was true that every day Shahryar, Persian for king, married a new virgin, and then sent yesterday's wife to be beheaded. It was written, and I had read, that by the time he met Scheherazade, the vizier's daughter, he'd killed 1,000 women. Something went wrong with my efforts. I arrived in the midst of the story and somehow exchanged places with Scheherazade, a phenomena that had never occurred before and that still to this day I cannot explain. Now I am trapped in that ancient past. I have taken on Scheherazade's life, and the only way I can protect myself and stay alive is to do what she did to protect herself and stay alive. Every night, the king calls for me and listens as I spin tales, and when the evening ends and dawn breaks, I stop at a point that leaves him breathless and yearning for more. And so the king spares my life for one more day, so that he might hear the rest of my dark tale. As soon as I finish a story, I begin a new one, like the one that you, dear reader, have before you now.
Author's note: this book contains elements of suicide that some may find disturbing. If you or someone you know is in crisis or emotional distress, there are resources available, all day, every day. Remember, the world is a better place with you in it. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline provides free and confidential emotional support. Within the United States, just text or call 988. Online chat, suicidepreventionlifeline.org. Chapter 1. My body is less like a temple and more like a bar and grill. Meme. I needed to get drunk. Or laid. Fortunately, I was in the right place for either if I played my cards right. Unfortunately, I hadn't shaved in 3 days. Was a scruffy biker look still a thing? I had my eye on a saucy redhead, a server in the bar I'd ridden 20 hours to get to. I never dreamed I'd drive 2 days to drink in a bar I'd never seen in a state I could barely find on a map, but I realized rather quickly why my high school buddy had set up shop in northern Idaho. The lush countryside and abundance of lakes proved intoxicating, much like the beer I currently nursed, thanks to a dispute that involved a gas pump, a broken card reader, and an irate blonde. I shook out of my thoughts with gritted teeth and studied my friend's grunge-worthy establishment. Exposed metal rafters, corrugated walls, and neon signs were the foundation of Jason's decor. But the coolest thing about cruisers was a road that cut through the building, created by 2 large garage doors at either end. It allowed bikers to ride through and show off their pride and joys while other patrons cheered them on. The tradition created a type of subculture among the local riders and enhanced the spirit of camaraderie and brotherhood, something I understood very well. After the most recent celebration died down, the patrons applauding a vintage Indian chief that gave the air a smoky hue as it passed through, I refocused on the guy I hadn't seen in.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?